What's up, Fragrant World? Welcome back to another Stay Fresh production. Yes, I'm wearing this green shirt. You've probably seen this already in a couple of other videos because I'm shooting all these videos on the same day. I don't have a whole lot of time to shoot, so I'm trying to cram them all in. So thank you for your patience. And today we are talking about another brand new fragrance house here. I've been contacted by quite a few new houses as of late, and it's really thrilling to see what these, newcomers to the market have to offer with their fragrances. So the house we're talking about today is called Herdahl-Thorsing. They are currently based in New Zealand, totally other part of the world from where I am, but that's really cool. So Alex, who is the owner of the house, was very kind enough to send me 3 samples of some of their fragrances. In fact, I think these are the only 3 fragrances that they currently have out. So we're gonna jump right into it. The first one up, and they're coming in these little boxes. They sent me samples, and this one is called White Rum. You can see it there. Kind of Tom Ford-esque with the square and the name there, but hey, it's cool. Comes in this little 4.5 milliliter splash jar. I'm not crazy about splashes. It's hard to really get a true reading of how the fragrance wears unless you can decant it into a sprayer, which I don't really have the resources to do right now. So I just had to make do by wearing it from the splash, And it did okay. Now, this fragrance, White Rum, this is a nice scent. It's gonna smell strange from the splash jar. In fact, when you smell it here, it smells kind of like bubble bath to me, some kind of like almost bubblegum scented soap or bubble bath. But trust me, that is not how the fragrance smells at all on skin, and that's just a weird association that I think I make with my olfactory memory and stuff like that. So it's probably not gonna smell like that to you, even if you smell it from here. But this fragrance is boozy. It starts off pretty dang boozy right up top. It's sweet. There's a warmth and a dryness to it as well. And a little bit of spice to my nose, but apparently maybe no spices in the note breakdown. What you get in this, lotus, which is interesting, and you get rum and opium. That's in the heart. Lotus is in the top. Rum and opium is in the heart. If you're not sure what opium smells like, it's a very dry and almost balsamic floral note, even a little bit powdery too. And in the base we have amber and musk. So I think the sweetness is coming from the amber and the musk. Both of those are making sweetness and warmth that kind of radiate from down below. Again, we got the booze up top. I don't really get the lotus that much in this one. Lotus can give off these watery touches, which I don't really detect here, but I'm also not super keen on the note of lotus. I need to spend more time with the note itself in other instances and other perfumes. But I definitely get the presence of the opium here. It adds this dryness to it. It gets drier as it dries down. Now, as the fragrance sits on the skin, the booze kind of fades away. You're still left with the sweetness, and the dryness kind of takes over. And honestly, it gets really sensual. I love this scent as it dries down. It lasted on my skin about 7 hours, and I just kept coming back to it. So as it dries, it gets better and better. So that is White Rum. Up next, this is called Berry Tobacco. All right. And you should be seeing pictures of the bottles as well. If I didn't say that already, should be on screen. Now, Berry Tobacco, this one was probably my least favorite of the 3 that they sent me. It is kind of what it sounds like. It's berries. I think there's blackberry in there, and there's an earthy tobacco note, but it comes off, wow. I can tell it's a good blend. It's well done, but it's too sweet for me. It's very almost syrupy sweet when you first put it on, and it kind of actually stays that way as it dries. It just stays very in your face with the sweetness. But the tobacco does add a bit of interest. Again, kind of makes it a little bit darker, a little bit earthy. And that, I think, kind of helps to keep it from getting too sickly. Now, the fragrance as it dries kind of has almost this chocolatey nuance that surrounds the berry notes. So you get almost this chocolate covered berry note, which is very succulent, very delectable. It's kind of like a dessert, but again, there's that tobacco in there, which makes it not smell too overtly gourmand. There's a lot of vanilla in here. It's actually in the heart and in the base, so vanilla is heavy. I'm not sure what makes it so syrupy. I can't really figure that out. Maybe it's the berries, but there's also heliotrope and sandalwood, which does kind of add a creaminess to it. Heliotrope can often smell like almond, which can come off a little creamy. Same with sandalwood. As it dries down, for this one, for some reason, it doesn't really change that much on me. I think maybe I just got used to it, so I was able to tolerate it more as it dried, but I don't think it actually changes. So this one is not really my favorite. It's a little bit too sweet, but if you're a fan of sweet tobacco scents, like Terry Mugler, Pure Havane, or Naxos from Xerjoff, things like that, I think you'll really dig this, but this might be to another level of sweetness with the berries. So anyway, that is berry tobacco. And I gotta say, performance on berry tobacco, at least on my skin, was not that great. But what I will say overall in regards to all three fragrances, again, these are samples, they're splash samples. It's really hard to get a reading on performance. That would be much easier to do with a spray. So I can't really truly judge performance on these, unfortunately. Last one up, this is called Cream Flower. And this is a beautiful scent. This is probably my second favorite behind White Rum. Now, when I first tried this on, I detected white florals. I detected some kind of citrus. It was kind of bright and almost tangy, but it was also kind of heady and a little bit indolic and kind of powdery. And I thought I smelled some kind of earthy florals, which again tells me that maybe there's something like jasmine or tuberose in here. And I was right, there is tuberose in here. There's also aldehydes in here. There's musk, you got patchouli, you got lily in here. You also have amber and sandalwood, which can also contribute to the creamy nature. Cream Flower. This one is aptly named. It smells the way that it sounds. It smells like a white, creamy, fresh flower. And I think what kind of made it sparkle and zing to me is those aldehydes at the top. They can create, again, kind of this bright effervescence at the top. Again, kind of a sparkly nature. This is just a pretty scent. It's just lovely. It's a beautiful fragrance. Some might say it leans on the feminine side, but again, I'm trying to get away from that. I feel like you could wear this if you're comfortable wearing it and you love it, then you can wear anything. The most dominant note to me in my nose on skin is the tuberose, but it does have, again, a sweetness to it. It does have an earthiness to it. And it's kind of creamy, and it's not too overly tuberose heavy. Trust me, it's well done here. It's a really nice scent. If you like white florals, this is definitely one to check out. Now, things to note about the prices on Herdahl-Thorsing's fragrances. I have them written down here. A little steep for the 4.5 milliliter splash sample. If you want that, 28 bucks. 28 bucks for 4.5 milliliters. I don't know, I'm not so sure about that. And the reason is because these are eau de toilette concentration. Now they might be, higher quality. They don't smell cheap, but the fact that they're only eau de toilette, they have a lesser concentration of oils. With that high price tag still, I'm a little iffy on that. If you want a 50 milliliter bottle of this, that's $160. I don't know. That's a little steep. Again, if these were eau de parfum, I think I could agree with that, but they're eau de toilette, they're a little light. So I'm kind of curious about the pricing on that. So if you want to even sample these, you might have to take a little bit of a plunge. 28 bucks for 4.5 milliliters. Again, you be the judge. And if you're interested in checking out these fragrances, the link will be down in the description, so you can go down there and check them out. Anyway, I do want to thank the House of Herdahl-Thorsing for sending me these fragrances to check out. It's been a joy to sample them. I look forward to see what they have in the future, and I hope that, they take my feedback and consider what I had to say and, either make changes or not. We'll see. But either way, I'm grateful to have experienced these, and thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.